First and foremost, can I just say what an absolute pleasure and privilege it is to be here tonight and given the opportunity to pay tribute to the England manager, Gareth Southgate. On the 18th of June 2018, England's World Cup was about to begin. Expectations were low. Years of abject failure in the finals of the two major international competitions filled us with utter hopelessness. The last time England played in a major finals, they lost to a country with more volcanoes than they had professional footballers. No one cared for international football anymore, they said. It's club before country now. Those of us who remembered Italia 90 and Euro 96 knew differently. Actually, looking around the room tonight, half of you even go back to 66. All it would take would be a glimmer of hope, a tiny shard of light to break through the murkiness of the underwhelming past. The country, too, was in turmoil. Brexit had divided the nation, rancour and rage prevailed, and that was just the BBC and ITV pundits in Moscow. In charge of England was a former central defender who also remembered the almost glory days. The near miss of Euro 96. Our guest of honour this evening, Gareth Southgate. Yes. Gareth was brought up in Crawley, and to this day, he remains its most famous face. Despite stiff competition from X Factor star Chico and Dan Walker. I'm still only fifth in Leicester, behind David Attenborough, Engelbert Humperdinck, Willie Thorne and Dave from Shawaddy. Gareth became the local triple jump champion and 200-metre junior record holder. He was very determined to get away from Crawley. He was a very well brought up man and claims he never heard any swearing at home. Then he went to Palace and met Ian Wright. At Crystal Palace, he was considered posh, but soon proved himself to be a typical footballer, out and about, chasing the birds. Well, just one, actually. Alison Bird, his wife of 22 years. Gareth, though, was different to other central defenders. He could string a sentence together for a start. Of course, at Palace, as you know, he began a lifelong relationship with Andy Woodman, becoming very good friends with a player who never quite reached the same level as he did. A bit like me and Alan Shearer. He also became... He's not here. He also became friendly with Martin Keown. Martin said, and I quote, "He sucked up knowledge from me." Gareth, I just wish you hadn't sucked it all up. Couldn't you have left him just a little bit? Martin. Alan Smith, his manager and mentor at Crystal Palace, told him he was in the wrong job because he was too nice and recommended he become a travel agent. Mainly because Alan wanted a discount on his monthly trips to La Manga. Alan and Gareth are still close. Alan says Gareth should even sort out Brexit. Steady on, Alan, that's my job. But for a few weeks last summer, the country did forget Brexit. For a few weeks last summer, we were all together, as one, cheering for England. It didn't appear that way at first, though. The opening encounter seemed to be going down a familiar, predictable, and lamentable route. After an encouraging first half, Tunisia equalised. The game drifted on. Here we go again, we collectively sighed. But then Harry Kane scored again. He bloody well scored. And we roared, and Gareth Southgate soared. We were going to win a game at a finals. Football was coming home. We knew, of course, that it wasn't. But, well, you never know, do you? Let's be realistic let's be realistic, we reluctantly said to ourselves. It's one game, one win. It's only Tunisia. It's a young English side with no real experience. And a manager that's only previous award came when he was named Premier League Manager of the Month in August 2008. You know August, the month with just 2 games in it. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Then it was the mighty Panama. And England scored 5 in the first half. 5! And Harry had a hat-trick. And Gareth had a waistcoat. And everyone was singing and everyone was dancing. Waistcoat sales on the high street were up 35% because of Gareth. Come back to me when you've shifted 3,000 packets of Brussels sprout flavoured crisps, mate. We were going through to the knockout stage with a game to spare, and it was coming home. But we hadn't won a knockout game in 12 years. Oh yeah, a timely reminder that it's the hope that kills you. But we've got Gareth now, and we've got Harry, and we got on the right side of the draw because we didn't over-try against Belgium. And it was only Colombia. Oh, actually, Colombia are tough and quite talented, but Harry was spot on again. And England were going through, and it was coming home. And then right at the end, it wasn't. And then it was penalties. Fucking penalties. But we had Gareth in charge, and he had experience. Oh dear. The man that missed the all-important penalty in the semi-final of Euro 96 and had to put a brown paper bag on his head in case anyone recognised him was overseeing a penalty shootout. What could go wrong? The pizza bloke was in charge. That was a bit shabby though, wasn't it, Gareth? Making money out of the England team failing? I remember saying that to Gazza when we were making the crisp advert. It's sad, really, though, in a way, that a player who enjoyed a highly successful playing career with over 500 appearances split between Palace, Villa and Borough, as well as winning more than 50 caps for his country, might always be remembered for a penalty miss. He said at the time that he knew that that one little mistake would be brought up every day for the rest of his life. Gareth, mate, you should try having a shit on the pitch. Might have one in here in a minute. Anyway, we needn't have worried. Gareth had prepared. He made his players prepare. He made them practice. He planned, and we won it. We actually won a penalty shootout. And we cheered, and we cried, and we danced, and we hugged, and we kissed each other. Okay, so me and Shearer got a bit carried away. But it was magical. The most divided of nations was, for a while at least, as one. It was coming home. And then it was Sweden. And it was easy. It's never easy, not with England. But it was easy. And England were in the semi-finals of the World Cup. And the sun was shining at home. And everyone was partying. And everyone was dreaming. And waistcoats were everywhere. And Baddiel and Skinner were everywhere. And we were united, and we were City, and we were Rovers, and we were black, and we were white, and we were brown. We were together, we were unified, and it was lovely. It was coming home. And then it was Croatia, with a population not much larger than that of Iceland. And they only had one bloody volcano. One. And Trippier scored from a brilliant free kick. And we were leading, and the country roared. And it was coming home. It wasn't, though. Not this time. What did come home, though, was belief again in our national team. A team that had fun. A team of mixed ethnicities. A team of mixed Leicester cities. A team that was a reflection of what our society is and should be. What did come home was a man in charge of our national team that we could be proud of. A man that restored the love in our national side, and he did it all with dignity and charm and with humour. And we should all, as lovers of the beautiful game, thank him for bringing back hope to our shores. No, we didn't win the World Cup, but we enjoyed it. We loved it. And things will, I'm sure, continue to improve. England have the finest crop of young players coming through that I can ever recall. A new golden generation that will do better than not quite win bronze. And we have the right man to nurture them, and we have the right man to bring it home one day. Ladies and gentlemen, Gareth Southgate.